Hello and welcome, fellow bookworms and film fans. Welcome to this week's episode of The Content and Narrative. We'll be looking at The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. Now, this one is a collection of short stories, and I read this one when I was in secondary school. It's like a feminist view on sort of like your classic stories like Beauty and the Beast, Little Red Riding Hood. And honestly, the way that she takes these classic stories and puts her own little twist on it is just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. Like, I could not put this, like, I loved it. I loved studying it at school. So obviously you've got like the Bloody Chamber, you've got the Courtship of Mr. Lion, the Tigers. So the Tiger's Bride is obviously like Beauty and the Beast. You've got Puss in Boots. You've got the Werewolf, the Company of Wolves, Wolf Alice, the Lady of the House of Love, the Snow Child, the Earl King. It's like, it's also, it's enough to not be like a copyright infringement on these sort of like classic fairy tales, but it's got enough in these fairy tales that you know exactly which fairy tale it's talking about and which story it's talking about. As soon as you start reading it, you go, that's the one. That's exactly what it is. And I loved it. I loved every single one. Now, I wish I could discuss each one, but because they're so short, I would say definitely read it yourself. Because Angela, like, honestly, I'm very loath when people are like, great feminist texts and, you know, empowerment to women. And the reason I'm loath for that is because sometimes I find they go too much in the opposite direction. And I feel like sometimes they make the women perfect. Like, absolutely perfect. And I can't stand that. I can't stand when I read something or watch something and it's got this female character that can suddenly do everything. That, you know, will step on board a spaceship or whatever and suddenly know how to fly it. Will go off and suddenly know how to fight. Do you know, I feel like I really get annoyed because I'm like, no, because there are some people with natural talents, fine, but you've not got a natural talent for everything. Like, do you know what I mean? And so when people are like rave about feminist texts and being like, oh yeah, this is an empowerment to women, I'm always very hesitant when I go in, because I'm always like, is this an empowerment to women, or is this saying that women are superior to men? And because I do feel like sometimes that is the case. Sometimes they go, oh, we're superior to men. I think everybody's equal. But anyway, this is not a political channel, so I will not be going any further than that. And I think Angela Carter's The Bloody Chamber like balanced that knife edge perfectly. And I did read these thinking, well, damn, because they are flawed. Like, you know, it's your kind of classic. And when I say classic fairy tales, it's you're like Disney-fied fairy tales, because I'm very, very well aware that the original fairy tales are much, much darker. And I think Angela Carter kind of brings that back around and brings the darkness back. So I would definitely say, if you can, read it. The Bloody Chamber. So please, like, download it, you know, borrow it from your library, anything like that. Honestly, give it a go. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Let me know what your favourite one in the short story collection was, you know, and strike up a discussion. But thank you so much all for your continued support. Remember to subscribe so you're alerted whenever new videos come out, and remember to always keep it contento.